Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, this is Eric Duvall with Navigating Heroes, and today's episode is going to be the 4 great things about a 0% VA disability rating. Yeah, there are 4 great things about it. And I know right now for all of you thinking, oh man, I got 0%. There's no money. There's no back pay. This is messed up, man. But I'm going to show you how to turn it into something really good. Now, before I do, I just want you guys to allow me just a minute to explain who I am for all the people who are new to this channel. My name is Eric Duvall. I am a retired accredited VSO officer. I'm not accredited right now because of COVID. I wasn't able to get recertified, but I plan to once everything calms down. So everything that I give you, all the information I give you is going to be legit. Let's see, I am the founder of Navigating Heroes, and this channel is just to, help out veterans such as yourself, get their benefits without having to waste their money and their time. I'm cut to the chase. I say a lot of things that are not. This is going to be like your other YouTube's videos and podcasts that you hear about. I say what's on my mind, I tell it like it is, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to tell you a lot of secrets about the VA. There's a lot of scammers and attorneys and blah, 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 and all these people that, use these words to make you think that, they know what they're talking about and stuff like that. But the majority of them are just people that had their claims done, and now they're going to try to charge you for them. So I just want to let you know that all these things are free. All this information's free. And I'm going to cut to the chase, but if you find value in these videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe and the like button on YouTube. So, and everybody listening on the podcast, you guys, if you guys want to join me on YouTube, that's awesome too. We got a lot of great videos. So, okay, let's get to it. I don't like wasting time. So, so I received this comment from a veteran, and he was pretty upset that he got 0%, and he couldn't understand why. So what happened was I messaged him and I said, "Hey man, we need to talk about this." So we started talking, and I told him about some good things that we could do with the 0%, and he felt good about it. But the bad thing is he paid $800 to someone to do their claim, and he still got 0%. He only filed 2 primary conditions, which he had not even been to the doctor for since he got out 6.5 years ago of the military. No preparing for the C&P exam. They didn't file for any secondary conditions. He hasn't had any previous doctor's appointments since he's been out. So guess what? That's 0%. He's lucky to have that. There's so many people that, I get these emails and everything of 0%, or actually they were denied. And the best thing about a 0% is that the VA does find a connection. People don't realize that is the toughest thing to do. I had a vet come in my office. He was he came in there to see me because he had filed for Agent Orange exposure, and he was denied. And he had all the symptoms, few cancers and things like that. He was an aircraft mechanic. He worked on some of the aircrafts that were that actually sprayed the Agent Orange, and yet he was denied. And the reason why he was denied is that his DD-214 didn't show that he was, boots on the ground, but he did go to country, but he was not boots on the ground. And how they had that, it was kind of just jacked up. Anybody could see that, he was exposed. So we tried to get his claim done and everything. We were having so many problems, and it got to the point where I just said, "Look, I want you to bring every single thing that you have. We got to try to, figure this out." And just for a connection, just for the 0%. And we were going through all of his papers. I mean, they were all over the office and the desk and floor. We had stacks and stacks, and he brought this banker box in of pictures. Half of it was pictures. And he told me, he said, hey, or he asked me, he said, hey, man, do you want to see a picture of, me in the military? And I was like, I don't care. He showed me a picture. He was working on an aircraft. He was actually outside of Da Nang. He was working on this aircraft. And I said, well, there's your proof. He says, what do you mean? I said, there's a ribbon painted on the nose, and there's the wing, the tail number. So it took a while, but we were able to get that number and correspond it with some logs, pulled some strings with some people in Congress and stuff like that. We ended up finding the connection. He ended up getting his 100% because that was proof, because the thing is that aircraft never left Vietnam. So, be thankful that if you get a 0%, that you don't have to go through all that. Okay. So the 4 things that we're going to be talking about getting is, the first thing is that be thankful that you are 100% or a 0% because the VA found connection. Okay. That's great. The second thing is we can start preparing now for the increase. Okay. Third thing is that you can't go any lower, so let's just go higher. And the fourth thing is secondary conditions. There was a veteran I was helping with migraines, and or actually it was PTSD, and she was 0% at first, and no, I'm sorry. It was migraines. She was 0%. And with that, she developed insomnia and anxiety and things like that because it was just so bad. The migraines were so bad, and went from 0% all the way to 100 once everything, washed out. And so that's the next thing we're going to be talking about, is how to actually get that increase. That's one of the most important things. And it's not just with your 0%. It can be with your 30, your 40, your 50. Let's try to get you everything that we can. So what determines the reasons for an increase? Well, let's use this same guy still as an example. He had been out of the military for 6.5 years, and he hasn't been to the doctor. Definitely 0%. If you had a note card of medical documentation, and then you had, a banker's box full, who's gonna get the 0%? Who's gonna get the 100? You've got to work on that documentation. Matter of fact, I tell people, as soon as they file a claim, the second they file that claim, start working on your appeal by going to the doctor, and I don't want to manipulate the system, but up the meds, if you're having pain, quit trying to be the tough guy. Quit trying to do that. Tell the doctors, tell them everything that's going on with you. Because the doctors, what's going to happen is that you're going to have these doctor's visits, and then they're going to start prescribing you meds. Now, there's these 2 things. It's called recordable and reportable. All right, when we're talking about meds and things like that. So you go to the VA, and the doctor says, why don't you go home and take some Tylenol? Okay, that's reportable. Okay, but what's going to give you a bigger increase is the doctor saying, okay, let me prescribe you some Tylenol. Now it's recordable. Reportable is, hey, go do this. Recordable is, okay, now we're going to get you some meds. Okay. So with that being said, a doctor visit holds the same weight, but a doctor visit with a prescription, now it's bumping up a little bit. And the more doctor visits, the more prescriptions, it's going to go up and up and up. Another thing is that's going to determine your increase is how you conduct yourself at your comp and pen exam. That's going to be another video, and I'm going to be doing that pretty soon. But the comp and pen exam, I have a friend. He's a really good friend of mine, known him since high school. He was going through some stuff. He came over to the house and, he just said, "Hey, E, I need some help. Let's file a claim." Filed the claim. He should have been every bit 70 to 90%. I just know it. So he receives the letter after everything's said and done, his C&P exam and everything, and he's 30%. And I'm like, man, what happened? This isn't right. And I said, "What did you do?" He said, the C&P exam went good. He said, "This doctor, she was hot, man. She was fine." I said, "Okay, hold on." I said, "So when you walked in there, what did you do?" When she said, "Hey, big boy," I said, "Hey, what's up?" And she said, "Hey, how are you doing today?" He said, "I'm good." Okay. When you go to a C&P exam, for one, don't flirt. Two, never say the word good or great. Okay. Those doctors at the C&P exam, guess what? They're not there to be doctors. They're not to listen to you to give you medical advice. They're note takers, not decision makers. Whatever you say, they're going to write down. If you say the word good or great, they're going to write that down. And that's not going to hold too much weight on getting you a large percentage. Okay. Even though your documentation and your medical records and you got prescriptions, but you go up there and you're like, "Man, I'm good. I'm great." They're going to think, "Why are you even here?" So think about how you're going to conduct yourself. When they even say, "Hey man, how you doing? How's the drive?" Just say, "Look, I'm just making my appointment. I'm just here to make my appointment." So they're going to write that down, but they're not saying good or great. So keep that in mind. Another thing is treatments. I have a friend he's tough. He's one of the toughest people I know. And he messed his neck and back up. And so the VA ended up wanting him to go to physical therapy. So when he went to physical therapy, he would do the physical therapy, which wasn't much, but he couldn't even move or get out of bed or anything for like 2 days afterwards. And he went through 12 treatments of physical therapy thinking that he had to do the physical therapy. And, he was bumped down. He actually tried to file for an increase and got a decrease because now it looked like he was able to do everything. It's physical therapy. And yet you are trying to get an increase on your neck and your back. When you go through all that physical therapy, it looks like it helped and it got better because before, when you're at 60%, you couldn't move. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't lift. You couldn't sit, pick, pull. You couldn't do any of that. But now you can ride a bike. You can row a machine. You can do the stretches and everything. Look, that tough guy, you got to leave that at the door, okay? You got to listen to your body. When your body's hurt, you got to tell them. If you can't perform physical therapy, okay, that goes to show, hey, guess what? He can't do physical things. Increase. Boom. So think about this. Now, I know you guys, one of the challenges that we're all having is getting to the doctor, especially with the COVID and everybody freaking out over that and everything. And so a lot of things are shut down. A phone call to your doctor is the same thing. They are recording everything and they're logging everything in, and those are medical records. So just talk to your doctor over the phone, and that's going to constitute just as if you were still there. Now, once things start opening up, now ours is starting to open up where I'm at, and I'm in East Texas, and our clinic is starting to open up. And one of the things, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I do want to help people, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. This is another one of those secrets. Okay, people call me and they say, or they text me and they say, "Eric, look, man, I got to get to the doctor. How am I supposed to be able to build up my claim and my case and everything with documentation if I can't get to the doctor?" It's a 4-month wait. It's a 6-month wait. Let me tell you this. The VA is a hospital. The VA is a clinic, okay? They have walk-ins, okay? So when you go up to the front and you say, "Hey, man, I need to, see my doctor, blah, blah, blah. Well, your appointment's not for another 3 months. You want to make an appointment? Say, no, I need to see my doctor. I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and be a walk-in. They say, okay. They reach right next to them. They get this form and they put it on the counter. And all it says is your name, your last four of the date, the reason why you're there, how long you've been having these issues. You sign it, and then they say, okay, go have a seat in the lobby. So when it comes to getting, a doctor visit, things like that, there's no excuses. There's absolutely no excuses because you can be a walk-in. So when you have a big hospital like Dallas or something like that, you can go to ER, but when it comes to some of the small clinics, you can just go in as a walk-in. So think about that. Let's see. So, let's see. I'm reading some notes right now. So I guess while I'm getting my mind straight, I just want to tell everybody, hey, let me know in these comments, what kind of things that you guys are dealing with, so we can go ahead and share that, because I've noticed that on some of my videos on my YouTube, it's turned out to be like a blog. I mean, there's people helping each other with great information, and you guys just keep that rolling. So, as we're going on, as we're moving along, this is talking about, I'm reading these notes right here, and I've got some vets actually emailing me right now, and I'm trying to read them. And okay, a vet gets 0% for migraines. He had history of migraines in the military and was awarded as a secondary condition for tinnitus. His tinnitus was so bad that it was giving him migraines. VA determined the connection, but vet has never been seen for the migraines, and it was 0. Okay, yeah, migraines are migraines. It's really easy to get migraines as a secondary, and that's the only reason why I'm using it. Because let's say you have back problems and it's tough for you to go to sleep, and you got to go from side to side to side to side. Lack of sleep causes what? Headaches. Causes migraines. PTSD. You're going to have migraines. And tinnitus. Ringing of your ears, it can get so bad. Migraines. Anxiety. Migraines. Pain. Migraines. So that's one of the reasons why I'm always using migraines as an example, because I want you guys to realize, hey, man, that is a really good secondary to use. But the vet that we're talking about, the one who had these issues with the migraines, and it was PTSD and tinnitus, and they used migraines as a secondary for both of them. So they had 0% for the migraines, 10% for the tinnitus, and I think like 50 for the PTSD. They had not been to the doctor. They had not been to mental health for the PTSD. And they started going for the migraines and ended up getting a 30%. Now, same scenario, another veteran. He had neck, back, knee issues, arthritis, degenerative disc disease, all those things, and blah, blah, blah. He had good numbers in each one of those, okay, where he was like 90%. He was trying to get that 100. So his migraines were 0, and he thought, well, if I could get another 30, that could help me out. So he focused on just going to the doctor for the migraines, and when he went to get his increase, they went back and looked at everything he had, all of his neck, all of his back, and other issues, and his 90 actually went to 50 because he got a decrease in all of his things. So keep that in mind before you even do an increase. Make sure you're up on everything else. Not saying they'll check it every time, but that one time they might. Another thing to think about is your trigger words. that's going to be another episode. But trigger words can play a big role in your increase. And kind of like, okay, if a Vietnam vet, 65 years old, he starts talking about his pain, how, it's often. Well, often for a 60-year-old, that's, can be 0 to 20%. But they use the word frequent, 30 to 50. Now, I know there's going to be some people say, no, no. I'm going to tell you, yes, I know for a fact, okay, that your words can help determine your percentage. Know what you're talking about. Go in detail. Tell them about how often it is every week, every month. Just don't say often. When you're talking about the pain, don't go in there saying 10. There's so many people that say, well, if I keep saying 10, I'll get 100%. If it's 10, you wouldn't be there. You would either be dead or you'd be in the ER. So don't try to, manipulate the system. Just go in and do your thing. Tell them what is really going on. But think about using words like severe, and frequent rather than, oh, I'm good, I'm great, often. So those are going to be some other episodes, and I'm sure that there's other people, on YouTube and podcasts that can even, go in more detail about that. Let's see. Yeah. So my other notes is talking about, I'm about to make some episodes that's covering all these things that we talked about. The increases, the secrets to the increase, secrets to the secondary disabilities, the ECFR, the Electronic Code of Federal Regulations, and, all that good stuff. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, what kind of stuff that you want to, hear about and we can focus on. And hope you guys join me for all those other episodes. Or if you just want to make a comment saying, hey, man, I was here, I was there, blah, blah, blah. I myself, Army veteran, 1st Duty Station, 364th Armor, 3rd ID, Rock on the Marne, ITT to 1st 15th Infantry, that Audie Murphy unit in Schweinfurt. And then I went to a beautiful land of vacations. What was that called? Oh, Fort Bragg. Started out with 82nd, then went to 18th, 44th, and ended up in 57th Med, the air ambulance, the original dust off, which one of the greatest. I love it. I love Fort Bragg. At least I love 57th Med. Okay, so let's see. If you found value in these videos and everything, hit the subscribe and the like on the YouTube. And for all you guys joining me and girls joining me on the podcast, you might want to check out some of the YouTube videos. I actually have about 48 scripts that I've been writing, and now that I'm getting all the podcasts and everything set up, I'm going to start getting those out as soon as I can. Now, once I get those out, I'm going to start working on like the weekly podcast or something like that. But there's so many things that I need to get out. I'm trying to rush, and I got all this stuff going on. I know I sound scattered, but as we progress, I will too. But there's a lot about the scammers and just all kind of other things. And another thing that I'll be doing is on these episodes, I'll actually be giving a shout out to people that I know personally that are helping out veterans. And if you know of any kind of businesses or anything like that, if you guys want to comment on these businesses that are helping the veterans, because so many times you've seen these signs in front of restaurants that say, we support our troops. And you go in and you say, hey, well, is there a discount? They're like, no. You're like, well, how is that supporting our troops? Did you pick a side or what? Because that's kind of false advertisement. But All-American 82nd Airborne, All-American Roofing and Siding in Irving, Texas. You can look them up at allamericanroof.net. They have helped so many veterans with, roofs and leaks and siding and helping out with their insurance claims and everything. It's just amazing. DAV, VFW halls and American Legion halls and just all over Texas. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. They do a great job. They have a big commercial roofing department or section, whatever you want to say, of their roofing company. So they're able to give back to the vets on, residential. And there is also a RV park that's it's in the process in Brownsboro, Texas, called Kickapoo Creek RV. And they do a lot for veterans already. And once they have their grand opening and everything in July, I'll actually be there helping, the residents or the campers or whatever with claims and stuff like that. And anyway, so we're just putting this community together. But, I really want to just reiterate one more time that this channel is about us coming together and helping each other. I'm not trying to get 1 million views, and I'm not trying to get, competition with anyone. There's other people out there that, I know, Combat Craig and Brian Reese, and I mean, I know these guys. I've seen their videos. I've learned from them, and there's things that we like about each other. There's things that we dislike about each other. But the thing is, there's a lot of other people out there that are really wanting to help the veterans get their benefits and the families. And, let's if you want to do your part, share, let everybody know, hey, look, Navigating Heroes, Eric's back. He's going to be knocking out these episodes and all that good stuff. And anything I can do, man, you guys just let me know. And we'll get this thing done, all right? So anyway, until next time, I will talk to you guys soon.